This meeting is being recorded.
Morning, everyone.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Oh my God, there's like the Brady Bunch over here. I love it.
Brady Bunch. I don't recall what they look like, the Brady Bunch.
Well, it's like, the panels and everyone's like in the intro. Old show, way before our time, but it's amazing. I'm loving this. It's like all the panels and everyone's like, hello. And then everyone's like, yeah. Anyways.
Brady Bunch.
So,
I'm seeing it now. Yep. That must be the most common Zoom intro call reference.
100%.
Yeah. Hello, Tomek, how are you?
Hey, great.
Good. Hi, Fabian. Hi, Usman.
Hello.
Hello, Juan Blanco.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, dude.
Awesome.
So many special friends joining.
Oh.
Well, before we start, I have a fun way to just complete. Oh, it's okay. You muted. Perfect, Usman. You're the best. Thank you. Before we start, I have a fun way to just completely throw a wrench into everybody's day. I don't know what everybody's been doing up until this moment, but until we complete this thing collectively as a group, we won't be able to move forward with this call. So it works like this. We have to each say a number, and so I'll say 1, then someone else has to say 2, and then someone else has to say 3. But if anybody interrupts each other, then we have to restart. So you kind of have to intuitively feel and time it when somebody, you can't interrupt somebody, otherwise we restart back to 1. So we need to get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6. No, we're 6. All right. So starting now. 1.
2.
3.
4.
Everybody
5.
should be unmuted as well.
Damn it!
Wait, everybody unmute. We'll restart.
One.
It's a good exercise, man. Sorry.
2.
3.
4.
5.
6. Damn it!
Wait, Usman, did you get the memo on this? Do you know what we're doing?
I did, but my internet froze. I'm sorry.
Okay. Wait, we can't. Once you go once, you can't go again. I think some of you guys went twice. Okay. So you only get to pick one number. All right. Ready? We'll do it one more time. Well, we'll do it until we get 1.
2.
3.
3.
Okay, 1.
2.
3.
4. 5.
Oh,
We did it. Did we do it? Did you say 6, Usman?
I said 5.
Oh, you guys said 5 at the same time?
Oh no.
Okay, we'll get it one more time. We'll get it. 1.
2. 3. No. Oh man. 1.
2.
4.
5.
6.
We did it! You can't mess up the last one, Usman. When you're last, it's the easiest. Oh, I love that. Well, it's great. We did it. Okay.
I think that's what everyone's aiming for, is to be last.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then it gets awkward, and so you're like, okay, I have to say something. Awesome. We did this as a exercise it's sort of like a team meeting icebreaker, especially if you have new team members in your company and they're sort of feeling intimidated by joining this massive Zoom call with everybody. It's a nice way to get your team to like sort of sync up. It actually came from a culture workshop exercise that our leadership did in Better AMS that we paid a lot of money for. And this is probably the thing I liked the most. And we probably could have found this for free. So with that being said, so this is a Q&A call that I'm hosting this week, which is exciting. The format that I'll do is really simple. If you have a question, just put a number or something in the chat, and then I will and then you can unmute, and then everybody else can stay muted. That way, just me and you can talk. I'll try to have a 10-minute timer per each person, unless your question is answered sooner, just so that we can rotate to get through everybody's questions, whatever they may be. So that it can be questions about anything. I know some of you are prepared to talk about certain things in this call, which is exciting. And then at the end of the call, maybe I'll give a brief update on the group and some other stuff. So yeah, if anybody has anything or wants to start, just put it in the chat and we'll get rolling.
So we put up the questions in the chat and you start answering them.
Just put like anything in the chat, like a 1, a 2, a letter, I don't know, or just put a giant Q that way. So cool, done. Tomek, you can go first.
Okay. Do you have still cat, this Mr. Hawkins? Because I watched Jason Enlightened during the weekend.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wait.
And do you have still this cat? Because I remember that this was the name. Hawkins.
Oh no, dude, this cat died a long time ago, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a few times I was disrupted. Why do you talking with Hawkins during? And then I
you realized.
Okay, great. So, but yeah, coming to the more serious questions. So yeah, I'm still thinking about, to getting to the clarity. Do you have maybe any exercise? Because I'm not sure if I can even, recording videos, writing, etc., to get full background of each direction. For example, today I had interest call with one friend. I said on LinkedIn that he are looking for a job. So I decided, okay, I will jump with him on call and checking if how it's going with emotions. Maybe he needs my support. But from this call, we found that nice idea to organize conference about B2B marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And on one hand, I'm excited because I love events and I know events. And second, I think, okay, but maybe organizing events, it's not aligned with my long-term goal for living in the Spain, remote work, etc. So how do you approach for some complicated situations with so many pros and cons, and things that sometimes okay, I've been another pro, and it's like so many things, it's so overwhelming, and with related, especially when with my young son, for example, yesterday I have 3 hours for work and I, LinkedIn, clients, etc. And also thinking about this, it's pretty overwhelming. So maybe you found some frameworks, some mindset, some framework or mindset trick to really collect this all together or organize somehow. Because even pros and cons, it's for 2 answers, but sometimes it's 5 ways and how to combine this.
Well, what's coming up for me now is a really good book called The One Thing. It's an incredible book. Have you read it?
Yes.
So, I mean, the essence of that book is really just a mental model or a framework. It goes along the lines of what is the one thing such that by doing it would make everything else easier or unnecessary. It's sort of a chat GPT prompt for your own self. But, you're a visionary, a very strong visionary, and you have all these ideas floating around in your head, and there's a million things that you want to do. If you don't have the resources to support doing multiple things, you have to just focus on one thing. And I think that to focus on one thing is to spend at least 70% of your time on that one thing. I think that's sort of the ratio in my mind where I think, okay, if I'm at least spent 70% of my time in this one venture, it's my primary venture. Maybe you have your emotional release, process that's 10, 20% of your time. That's fine. You can sort of have a side gig venture thing, learning process on the side for fun. But 70% of your time needs to go into that. So you sort of can look at your options. I think you're leaning towards launching some sort of podcast agency. I think we could have a greater discussion around your options and which one deserves 70% of your time, and then going deeper into exploring, what the service market fit for that option looks like. But really feeling into where do I want to put 70% of my energy is probably the best use of your time right now.
True. So maybe let's deep dive this option about the podcast agency, because it looks something that you have great experience with agency thing, and also it could be productized. And also when I'm thinking about the dream option, for me it will be the summer in Poland, winter to go anywhere, Spain or Thailand or places that I love. I was many times, but it would be great to spend there longer time.
Yeah.
So for agency, I don't know, because I'm thinking like step by step, what could I do? The number one blocker for me about agency that I don't have experience with hiring people. And it's always I adjust my business to my lifestyle, to traveling, to going to Thailand. So always freelancing to not be responsible for people.
Yeah.
But now I see that even for my podcast, it would be great, because I'm editing my own podcast, which is so waste of time now when I have so limited time, and my time is also expensive because people buying workshop, etc. So how do you approach if I want to find someone to edit my podcast? Should I go for experienced freelancer that could be slightly expensive, or maybe to train someone from beginning? And I think now with AI, Riverside, etc., it's not so complicated like it was like 3 years ago to edit podcast. Now it's much easier, and for me will be great first step to find someone good to edit my podcast, and then to announce to the world, guys, we have some free slots for your podcast, and that could be nice way. Okay, I will have idea how to test the market, how to look for the product market fit. But yeah, my problem is this: how to approach to find someone to actually do the work with podcasting,
Yeah.
with shorts, like etc.
Well, this is my entire world right now, is content creation and streamlining the creation and publishing of that. It's really easy. I dove into it, and it took me like a week to learn the process myself. But I can give you a list of really good tools. Opus Clip is an incredible tool. I highly recommend that for using AI to create shorts out of the podcast episodes that you have. I'll send it in the chat. Opus Clip. It's the best that I've seen and is the highest reviewed. We just use DaVinci Resolve. It's kind of like Adobe Premiere Pro. That's the thing that we upload the actual audio track file into with the video. There's a very simple process for syncing the audio and the video file. If it's just an audio podcast, even easier. All you have to do is trim the beginning, trim the end, add an intro, add an outro. Super simple. Okay, but the root question of finding somebody is really straightforward. I don't think you want to find a professional. Just find somebody who is very entry level. I hired my brother, my little brother, who just no experience. I think we started at $12.50 an hour US, which is below minimum wage, because I was like, look, this is your training rate. You'll start here. Now he's at like 15. I'll probably bump him up to 20 eventually. But find somebody local. Don't go offshore with this. Like, this is somebody that you should find.
Especially it's in Polish, so it's
exactly cool. Yeah,
I need native speaker. I think maybe someone from similar, but yeah, I need native speaker to find, because in Riverside you can put the from the text you can put, okay, create short from this, And I want as my ABM tactic, because I want to invite my potential clients to the podcast and I want to impress them. So I want to send to my guests a few shorts from the
Yeah,
podcast.
I love
Okay,
that.
you have
Incredible.
ready to use social media post with my
Mhm.
branding, and yeah, I know it's super good thing, but I don't have time for it. I have to do the necessary for me to find someone and just to focus on talking with people and strategy. Okay. I think I will post on my Facebook event to ask, okay, so would you pay someone for the time to learn or give the resources, okay, learn this, and when you will you have skill, come back and I will pay you.
Yep. So I would definitely hire somebody with pretty much no skills. If they're willing to learn for free, amazing. The training process doesn't need to be that long, but after they've been with you for like even just 3 to 5 hours of their time, I would definitely start paying them for
Okay.
a lower rate, like a training rate. Make sure that you do a crystallizer assessment with them. It would be probably very advantageous for you if they're a strong integrator, so don't hire a visionary. That's super important. And then yeah, just entry level person that has a really, just feel them as a person, would you want to be friends with them? Do they have good moral compass? All of that is really important. But dude, can we pause? We're a little bit over, so I'll move to the next person.
Great, thank you.
Okay, that was great. Let's see, chat. If anybody wants to go next, just throw a Q in the chat, please. And we'll go in order of whoever throws the Q in the chat. So we'll sort of follow this format. Just here for the
Tomek,
vibes.
I also want to say one thing that came to my mind. And also for editing, what I use is the script. It's a really
Descript's
cool
great.
tool because for me, like the whole video editing, like CapCut and all those tools, it's like you have this timeline and you're like, holy fuck, like, and I messed up 3 takes. And this is basically, it shows you words. You edit based on words, and you have actions you can take. So it gives you kind of a transcript, and you have actions that you take to kind of take out the filler words, and that's like basically 90% of the editing. So like, it like really like somebody with no experience can get really, really good with editing and no speed, I think.
Okay, yeah, I checked the script, and one thing why I decide for Riverside, because it could be also for people on this call interesting, that in Riverside I have one link for my studio, and in that script it was like every time dynamic new link. So for me it was much easier if I send the booking link to my guest, and they will have immediately, we will have the same link in the event in Google, and it's huge time saving for me. So I always find a way how to not spend, exchange emails. Okay, here is the booking link, here is the link for the recording. I'm sending one message. Okay, here is that blog post. I mentioned all the information about the podcast. Here you have booking. If you are not sure if you are ready, so actually recording if you are ready, and all the information. So that it was like 1 year ago. I researched really deep Descript, Squadcast, etc. Riverside FM one for me, and they are pretty good with also show notes, because I use show notes. I just put in the chat GPT one prompt, okay, change the slides a little bit, and I put it as the description. So I'm not touching it at all. And it's helped to make this process smoothly. So yeah, for remote interviews, I recommend Riverside. The script maybe they changed in the last year. We'll check. Thank you.
Cool. Love that. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of both. I'm a huge fan of both. Well, I know there's definitely things that
I was also thinking about something, Tomek. Maybe you could use the help of Facebook groups, maybe in your local area for, I don't know, digital nomads or people who are looking for jobs, and maybe you could get some good entry level people right there.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be a problem, because I live in the pretty small city, 70,000, And I moved here from the bigger city, so I'm pretty famous here because I give interviews at how it happened. All people escaped from this city, and I moved here because I have remote work and I don't care. I want to be close to the nature. So I know journalists, I know city people in city council. So I think I will ask locally for someone young, and I think I will find someone ambitious, and I think would be great to cooperate locally and to give this opportunity. So yeah, I think I will find some. Thank you for this tip, but I think in my place will be not so hard.
Not not a big issue, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's cool.
But thanks for this idea.
For sure.
I know there's some of you that have stuff to talk about, so
Okay.
okay,
Then
Juan,
I'll
go for it. Sorry, Fabian. Juan, you're good. Go for it.
Okay. So well, as I talked with you last time, I am right now making most of my money trading it from my time and my effort. I'm right now, tour guiding and selling merch in different stores. But I wanna go to a more online based business.
Yeah.
And my first question is, do you think as an agency is the whole business model needs to be supported on marketing services, or you can provide other type of services?
Just in terms of like the service offering that you can provide with a digital-based company
Yeah, exactly.
as an agency.
Yeah, exactly.
The agency can be based around anything, dude. It could be based around operational support, like it could be based around hiring people. It could be based around, culture, management, brand, DNA. Marketing is just a very small but important aspect of business that the agency world helps out a lot in. But you have infinite potentialities and offerings that you could come up with. It doesn't have to be, related to marketing per se.
Okay, so I was thinking about some businesses that generate a lot of money, um and I got really interested in institutions that hire traders,
Mm-hmm.
let's say hedge funds or banks. My dad was, when I was a kid, he was a trader, and I experienced the big amount of stress that he was enduring, and that eventually led him to develop cancer, which led him to go to the hospital with doctors and stuff. He got healed, but the doctors told him that he cannot keep doing trading. So I was
It's a
thinking,
stressful job.
yeah, it must be a really stressful job.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that maybe I could, well, I already developed a system to help one of my friends who's a trader in Notion, to take accountability of his habits and an accountability of the trades
Mm-hmm.
through Notion. So inside this system, you can tell if the trader had a bad day and he hasn't been exercising, for example. You can compare it to the results of his trades and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe about an agency who's dedicated in improving the well-being of traders
for
psychologically, and
100%. You could do that.
That sounds good, but I also have another two ideas.
Well, Tell me what's on your heart most prevalently, and
So these are the three stuff that I see myself working for. I have also thought about generating customers for hotels and resorts
Mhm.
through pay-per-click ads and social media content. And I was also thinking about people moving overseas and building overseas. Try to give them a consulting on the contractors they're hiring and help them not get overcharged. I don't know if you.
someone who would be coming to Panama, for example, and establishing a corporation and hiring local talent, and then
Yeah,
guiding them
yeah,
through that process.
exactly. No, but especially people who move, who like uh, an American who buys a land in Panama, for example, and they start building a house. They usually run into the problem that they are gonna the
Oh, the
contractor
contractors are gonna abuse them. Got it.
overcharge them and stuff. So like a consulting agency that will help these people not get overcharged.
That sounds fine. That one you'd have to get more clarity on because it would be just based on how vague it is, because there's so many people coming to a foreign country for so many different reasons. It would be maybe difficult to build a client acquisition system. You'd have to gain clarity around, like, I'm helping people who are going to build homes, or people who are going to establish a corporation and build a local, brick and mortar business or a coffee shop, or whatever it is. I think in the construction realm, that would probably do well, if you were oriented around construction. But it seems like you're in the ideation phase of this. I know that you're really just feeling into what you would want to do. I'm going to try to send you a resource or a Loom video with more details on how you can sort of gain greater clarity around what ideas feel like, the best ideas, quote unquote. But what you can do is, dude, send me a list in school, like a direct message, and just send me a list of all the potential ideas that you have, and we can sort of work through them. Just send me a giant list and we can work through them, and I'll guide you on gaining clarity around which avenue you can sort of go down. Because it's an interesting blend of what is your heart calling you to do and what actually has service market fit, right?
Yeah.
What is actually going to perform well and be easy for you to scale. And we want to try to find a blend of both. We don't want to just pick the thing that we love doing but nobody wants, because that'll hurt us tremendously.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's start there, dude. Spend some time ideating all the different ideas that you have. The trader thing is great. Like TJ said, that'd be a good community option for helping traders, but just come up with a giant list. Let's start there.
Okay. Yeah. The trader idea comes from me trying to actually help people release some of their stress and make them a little bit more healthy. I don't want people to keep going through the same thing that my dad went through.
Yeah, you have a powerful story there too, which is really special. You have the experience with your dad and the experience with the trader friend of yours, who I think we both know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we have a minute and a half on the timer. Did you want to add anything else before we move on to the next person?
Yes. What's the number one realization about yourself that like led you to improving your life?
Wow. That's a difficult question to answer. I'll do my best in 60 seconds. Well, I think I've just always been oriented around personal development. I don't know why. It's just been there since a very young age. But I think God is sort of the foundation, and I think the reconnection to God is what has really been the biggest realization of wanting to continuously show up, wake up, and improve my beingness and my connection to God. That doesn't mean waking up and meditating. It means waking up and eating healthy, going to the gym, uh, cultivating a great relationship with my parents, with my girlfriend's parents, and being a great person to all beings that I can possibly be of service to. So it's, I think God is the big realization.
Fair.
Wasn't always in my life. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you. So send me that list or publish it in the community, even better, and then I can send you a Loom response and we can sort of go back and forth on this, because I know what stage you're in, and it's a infinite stage with a million ideas.
Yeah. I just my goal for this quarter is to narrow down and
Yeah.
find something to put 70% of my
Yeah.
effort in, you know.
I love that.
How many do you think I should pull out?
Any number.
Okay.
Yeah, any number. Any number.
Is 25 too much or too less?
There is no too much. There is no too much and too little. You go full visionary mode.
Okay.
and build a list. I'll read every single one.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you so much.
No worries, dude. Usman, you're up, brother. Are we here to talk about nervous system regulation or something totally different?
Business.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we already know about that part. So just keep that in the context while you're answering this, okay?
Okay.
So yeah, hi everyone. Just formally saying hello. I want to talk about my SEO agency. So, so we're growing like quicker than basically what I expected or like can manage as of now.
Yeah.
So my team is new and most of the hirings I've done have been like in 3 to 6 months, and the oldest is like probably 10 months back, right?
Okay.
So I have no like operations framework, no SOPs,
Yeah.
no accountability framework, agency vision, nothing like that as of now. And we are like at 9% team or 9-10% team
Okay.
currently. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're pretty much like managing the agency off of Google Sheets right now.
Okay.
But the question basically is like, does it make sense to like hire somebody who's like an expert on the operation side, like on Upwork or something? Or is it worth it to learn this by your own? Like my wife has started watching that agency Enlightened course
Okay.
on YouTube. So, and she also has like a higher integrator score, like
Yeah, I
much
saw
higher
that.
than me, right? So like basically, does it make sense for her to, learn and execute this herself because she knows the operations and everything and what we're exactly doing and how we do stuff? Or does it make sense to, get somebody who's already expert in building this from the ground up?
From my experience, anytime we've tried to outsource a highly critical and important role, like developing a framework for managing the agency and keeping things structured and organized, it's never gone well. It's always better to keep it in-house. It's great to learn and go through that process. Like if she's, going through the operations sector of Agency Enlightened, amazing. Or if she reads EOS, Traction is an incredible book. Amazing. These are books. I think in the course itself, there are books for agency operating frameworks that are recommended. Those are also really good resources. It's infinitely better to train somebody in-house to learn these things opposed to trying to hire an external person who's never going to be fully invested into the growth of your agency because they're just a contractor that's getting paid a retainer. And really, they're just a consultant. And the consultant's role, even if that consultant's role is hands-on within the agency and is moving pieces around, they're never actually fully invested. And so we only realized this like 5 years into the agency, but we kind of came to this realization that these outside contractors are very useful for doing things that aren't critical to the business, sort of monotonous tasks that aren't critical functions of the business. But the critical stuff has to be somebody in-house, ideally somebody in the leadership team. And so I think your wife is the best person to learn these skills and to develop them and integrate them into the agency.
Yeah, I actually just downloaded Traction on my Kindle, so
It's
I
really good.
am also but does this apply to like a business like me? I thought it was like for big corporations or something.
No. Totally for small businesses too. It's not common for small businesses to use Traction because it just feels like it's a little bit overkill. But you can absolutely use that framework. We just took pieces out of the framework that we really liked, which they don't recommend, of course. But we just developed sort of our own framework based on the ideas that we cultivated from that model.
So like basically mold it for your own purposes.
Yeah,
Learn it and like mold it.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that you don't necessarily need to learn this stuff. I think you should just leave this to your wife. It's cool if you can read the book and have an understanding of it so that you can have a conversation with her around sort of what, frameworks you guys want to implement, just so you can speak to it. But it seems her role will be the one to execute, bringing the order to the chaos and making sure that things are functioning smoothly and that you're developing a culture, which is super important. You don't want to just have a company full of people who are sort of separately working on their isolated tasks and there's no interconnection aside from the fact that they all receive a paycheck from this one corporation, right? Siloed digital workforces are very common. Interconnected workforces with culture is very uncommon, and the latter obviously yields much greater ROI than the former. So super important that you guys do this in house and that you learn it yourself.
And is this EOS gonna like talk about culture, vision, and all that stuff
They
as
do,
well?
yeah, they do in that book. They do. And in Agency
Okay.
Enlightened, I did a really good module on culture, which is sort of a synthesis of the Great Game of Business, Traction, EOS, Culture Canvas, which is an incredible workshop that I was referencing at the beginning of this call that we spent a bunch of money on in terms of just learning their framework for developing culture. So yeah, that module is a synthesis of everything, which is really good.
And another thing is, I am operate. How much time do I have?
There's a few minutes.
Okay. So the other thing is, I'm operating at like I think I told you before, like 85 to 90% margins right now.
Yeah.
So question is, how much do you think like I should invest
It's a really good
into
question.
building all this stuff, and then what exactly should that money go to, right?
Yeah. So this is a really good topic. Our business right now, Better AMS or BTR Media, we are sitting around 2 months of runway, which means that we could essentially lose all of our revenue and afford to pay our payroll for 2 months or all of our expenses for 2 months. It's recommended to have 3 months of cash in the bank and really not more than 3 months. I didn't think that, I always for a long time thought we want 12 months of runway in the bank. That's an absurd amount of cash. And the investors who came into the business who have a tremendous amount of experience with scaling agencies up to the $1 billion level, one of them is a founder of a $1 billion agency, said that you don't want to have more than 3 months of capital in the bank. If you can, great. Google has tons of cash in the bank, but agencies are typically very cost heavy because of the payroll expense. So you want to aim to have 3 months of runway in the bank. I'm assuming you have that because your margins have been quite high for a period of time, right? And assuming
Like 36,
you 3 to 6 months of
36 months.
you have 36 months of runway. Yeah, there you go. Okay, great. So you're in a very good position. Okay, cool. So 3 months of runway, but you have infinitely more, which is greater. You typically you don't really want your margins to go below 10%. You want to keep them at least above 10%. Obviously, you never want to go below negative, but I think that what I would do is I would gradually start bringing the margins down to 70, 60, 50% slowly by investing in what you believe is going to be the investments that make the company bigger. So you can sort of turn the dial down to 50% and then see what the effects are in making those investments. I don't know how much capital that comes to. It might be an extra $5,000 to $10,000 or $3,000 to $6,000 per month in terms of extra costs that you're adding on to the business. I just had a conversation with the COO of our agency who said that it's very healthy to have a 50% gross 50% gross margin. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, because I'm not a finance wizard, gross margin, I think this was the metric that he used, or it was something else, I forget. But basically, what they're calculating is what is your total cost of servicing the clients? So your payroll to your staff members that are doing all the service delivery stuff, the software that you use to deliver your services, and then you basically just calculate, you add up all of the costs that it takes to fulfill the service delivery aspect of your agency, and you divide that across the revenue. And that gives you your, and I could be wrong in saying this, if somebody knows, please correct me. I think it's gross margin. In fact, I'm not remembering, this is killing me, but it might be your gross operating margins. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit different, but 50 to 60% is really good. So our business right now operates at like a 5 to 10% margin, which people would think is quite low, but our gross margin or our gross operating margin is 50 to 60%. So the reason why this is an important metric is because everything else we can get rid of. All of our marketing expenses, all of our like leadership salaries, they don't necessarily need to be there per se, because we all have personal runways in our bank and we can cut our salaries out if we need to. Any software that is irrelevant to servicing the clients, we know that we can turn that off. So as an investor, if I'm looking at your agency and I want to acquire your agency and you tell me your margins are 0%, but your operating margins, in a sense, this might be the wrong term, I need to figure out the actual term, is 50 to 60%, well, then I'm looking at your business and I'm realizing that I can turn everything else off and immediately increase the profit. This is why some companies that are horribly negatively profitable are still able to raise millions or billions of dollars in capital, because the investors understand that what they're doing is they're using the cash flow to generate greater market share, and eventually they'll sort of turn down the marketing cost because they've won so much of the market share. So long story short, I would just dial it down to 50% margins, make that investment, whatever cash that is, 70 to 80 down to 50. I'm sure that's a reasonable amount of cash for you to hire people or invest into marketing, whatever that is. You definitely should not be at 70 to 80%. It's holding back the growth of your business. I think that's the consensus that I'm trying to tell you here, is you need to start hiring some people that are, top quality and or investing in marketing.
I think my main concern was just that, whether it's more profitable to operate at 80 to 90% margins and have less headache and stuff and things to worry about, and to operate at like a 50% margins and having to control like 20, 30 people and then, putting out fires all day and that sort of stuff.
Well,
I think,
the thing is like, yeah, it is totally contextual to your goals, but at the end of the day, if you're making the investment to scale, you're setting your intentions on building a company that grows without you. I wouldn't have gone through the scale route if I thought that it was going to cause me more headaches and more problems, right? It was that in the beginning for a small period of time, but once you have a good leadership team established and then a foundation below that leadership team to manage the operations of the business, it's incredible. It's a breeze, like in the final 2 to 3 years of the agency, I could have sat and done nothing because that's how good the team was below me. And I think that's the goal for you and your wife, is to sit down and say, look, we're so in the business right now. If we die, the business is gone, right? Like I'm assuming that's the current status of your business. And when you're in that situation, it's scary. And you have to just say, okay, well, do we want to actually build this into something that grows without us? Yeah, if yes, we're going to have to commit to this growth period of investing in building a leadership team below us. And if not, we'll have to just make sure that we're saving a lot of the profit for ourselves so that we can one day just either sell this to someone else or close it down and take the profit that we have and just retire, Totally up to you and what you guys want to do. But I love the idea of building a business that grows without you, and something that is truly a highly desirable asset for an investor to purchase because the founder isn't necessary. So that's a really good conversation to have with your wife.
Right.
Exciting. Very exciting. Okay, we'll transition over to somebody else. By the way, you guys, if you want to just hop off at any point, feel free. I'm not going to be mad or sad or angry. We don't have to all sit here and listen to everyone else. So, Fabian, you're up. I know that you didn't put a Q in the chat, but I knew you wanted to go at some point.
Thanks, man. So my question is, so I had a lot of operational things going on. So I'm kind of right now doing, of course, all the work myself, editing, shooting, running, managing, optimizing the whole ads thing.
Yeah.
Now also in Zurich again, so we're shooting now for 3 days. Really, really cool. Really cool day. So today I also had in train, I also went a bit more into the details of my ICP. I just share my screen for you.
Okay.
To see a bit what I did. I think it's always here. And I started just with this kind of list because I found a cool lead page where
Okay.
I could whatever, because I want to work with people who use Kajabi. That's the software, of course.
Yeah.
Because that already filters out. I just know how to do it with that tool. And there are this list is, there were 126 people on there, and I can get some more, but it's going to cost me to get the full access to more of them. It's going to cost me like 280 euros, for example. And I was, it's the first time I'm really doing this kind of exercise to really, really go into the leads,
Yep.
that I can really, really serve well. And I have a bit of a fear that there's maybe not enough people around there. So I just need someone to tell me probably that it's not the case. And I was, kind of putting, like, for example, here, like 3 people in where I don't know if I would work together with them. They kind of fulfill the criteria, but this one is somebody who is like into like some dating stuff, which I don't so much like. Yeah, and I don't, so I'm just thinking if I should just get rid of everybody else and just really, really focus only on those people where I'm like, I can really, really help you with that, or yeah.
Fabian, before I answer your question, Usman had a really good thing. He asked, can we all give context on what we do? So can you take 20 seconds to just tell people what it is that you do?
So basically, I'm right now, what I do is I help, I only have one client right now, as of right now. And she has an online course business for 2,500 euros. And I run her ads for her. I run her ads, I shoot her ads. So I physically travel to her location, as I'm doing right now, and I'm editing her ads right now. And then I'm optimizing them, and I set up the tracking for her, where I use a different software. And that's what I'm kind of doing, and I want to roll it out to more people because it really makes actually fun, and it's a cool business.
I love this exercise, Usman. Thank you for asking this because it really tells you where somebody is at and how well they can speak to what they're doing, especially when you add a 20-second cap on it. Fabian, you did great. And I will also reiterate Fabian's response. I will say that he runs a marketing agency that focuses on helping course creators scale their course sales through meta advertising, through Facebook ads and Instagram ads. That seems to be his niche. He has other experiences, but that's what the context is on him right now. So, dude, your question was so also for context, Fabian's Google sheet that he shared is a Dream 100 list. Dream 100 is an incredible concept that any agency owner should be aware of. Chet Holmes is the original founder or speaker who sort of came up with this concept of building a list of your Dream 100 clients, the top clients you would want to work with, and then going after them with sort of an ABM strategy, an account-based marketing strategy. Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins really popularized this strategy, and you can search Dream 100 on Google and you'll find a lot of different articles and blogs written about it. It's a phenomenal process, and it's really centered around account-based marketing. So, dude, you're building your Dream 100, and your question, give me what your question was again.
I don't think I'm actually building the Dream 100. I'm actually just really looking for clients where I would be like working together with. I was trying a bit the Dream 100, but it was a bit too far away from what I was currently doing. Do you know what I mean?
The Dream 100. Go ahead.
Would be like, right, so I have this others. I should just quickly share my screen. I have this other page of the Google sheet where I not here, where I was looking a bit into really cool people, like Birgit Fischer is a very famous one in Germany, or Eckhart Tolle would be also, of course, cool, right? Or Anthony
Oh, okay,
Williams, or their
but they're
foundation
almost
for, of
too
course,
far
miracles,
out.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
and they already have a big team and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So that's really good. So with the Dream 100, we have to have some form of realistic, approach to it, in the sense that we can't just all choose Tony Robbins as our dream client, assuming that he would be our dream client, or whoever the most famous and incredible, well-known person is. So with that being said, your Dream 100 should just be a list of your ICPs. So like you said, you're looking for people that you want to work with. That's great. That's what it should be. It should be your ideal client profile. It doesn't need to be this multi-billion-dollar corporation that's going to pay you $10,000 a month. Thank you for sharing that, Tomac. Yeah, that's the book. I've read it. It's great. But it should just be a list of your ICPs. So your current client that you have that's paying you 2.5K per month, 100 more of them. That's perfect. That's a really good starting point, right? So Eckhart Tolle is probably, maybe that can be the dream client for 2027 or something. I don't know. And it wouldn't be bad if you had a few in there that are like kind of reaching for the stars, sort of say. Like you could do that. You could totally put Eckhart Tolle in there and send him a letter and go about it. But the vast majority of your list should be people that you can actually get a hold of, because it's so much harder to work with those bigger clients. And the ABM process has a much larger window, right? Like the account-based marketing process for signing any major corporation is the sales process is like 12 to 24 months. I would say closer to 24 months anyway. So we want somebody that can open your letter and start working with you immediately at the current stage of where you are. And so that person is probably similar to your current client, which is just an individual out there who is making $10,000 to $20,000 a month with their course and wants to get to 30, 40, or 50.
Yeah. So I'm going to cut out all the ones where I'm not really, really sure. So because there are some where I'm not like, there's one at the beginning I found and it was like, perfect. This is exactly, she already has the fund ready, but no ads are live.
Yeah.
Looks all proper. I think I could just put fuel on it with it. And I also looked for people in Switzerland because I think it makes sense from I'm always in Switzerland. And I also was like, women feel also really good. I don't know so much about men. I just
Fine, stick with women if that's what you're feeling. Go for it. I love that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but so TJ made a good point. Like, really, what you're feeling into right now is what your ICP is, and you can only feel what your ICP is by going through this process of looking at lots of different ICPs, looking at the Eckhart Tolles, and then looking at the smaller people that are nobody really knows but are still making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. And you're getting a feel for the range that is accessible to you. And then we really want to narrow in on a specific ICP. You can have multiple ICPs. That's like multiple ideal client avatars is common. But I recommend just sort of finding this one particular profile. So once you find that profile, you can say, this is it. This is like the perfect profile, right? And then you can find another profile. Maybe it's not as perfect. I'll give you a good example, because what you're describing is exactly what I went through when I was scaling the agency around $10,000 or $20,000 a month. We had a list, and it would say, let's say Fabian is the contact, and then there's a row in Google Sheet where it has a quality sort of, and then there's 3 drop downs. There's perfect, there's great, and then there's like okay, and then there was bad. So there was sort of 4 different qualities. And I always told the people that were sourcing the ICPs, the sort of people that were doing the prospecting for us, the virtual assistants that we hired, I said, look, here's 5 perfect leads, here's 5 great leads, here's 5 okay leads, and here's 5 bad leads, so that you know what they all look like. And then we would train them to find only the perfect and the greats. We wouldn't really bother reaching out to the okays or the bads because they're too far out of that sweet spot that we're really shooting for, right? So a good example of the difference between what a perfect would be and what a great would be. A perfect could be that somebody who's making $10,000 or $20,000 a month with their course and has a good following on social media, but they're not running any ads. It's like the ultimate low-hanging fruit. This is exactly what we would look for in our advertising agency, So this applies to any agency at any time. Like TJ does a lot of stuff with brand DNA and helping people develop communities. A perfect example for him would be like somebody that just has a large following and they have an incredible potential to create a community, but they have no community and they really could benefit from a community. That would be the perfect lead. So a good lead would be somebody that is already leveraging the services that you offer. So they're already doing meta ads, or they already have a community, or they already have a podcast, but it's not working that well because they're not managing it that well. They're not actually operating it that well. And you know, because you have the experience of what it takes to, make successful Instagram advertising and Facebook advertising. So you can still approach them and provide tremendous value, right? So when you're building your list of the Dream 100 or your database of ideal client profiles, have a status with a quality indicator, because when you hire somebody to go through the prospecting process for you, because you do not want to be doing this by yourself, it is monotonous work and you'll get so tired of it so quickly and it'll drive you insane, because I've done it far too much in this life. You need to be able to go to them and say, hey, this was good, this was good, this was good, this one was actually bad, you said that it was great, here's why. So you can give them feedback and they can improve and get better at sourcing your ideal client profiles, right? So it's also helpful for training people.
Man, it was an incredible response.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely need to include that one. Yeah. I think it's continuing to do that exercise over and over again to fill the database and to really get on the ground of it and to really do this stuff.
I want to show you and also everybody what the Dream 100, and it was actually like the Dream 5000 list, looked like for us. It was super helpful in the early stages of growing the agency. And there's so many things you can do with it. It's so powerful. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Dream 100 database. We actually called it the Dream 100 database. Wow. Okay, cool. This is beautiful. This is going to be really inspiring for you, Fabian, because I saw your Google Sheet and it's exactly what it looked like for me in the beginning. It was just chaotic and horrendous. Everything was everywhere, and that's okay. That's where we all start. Let me share screen and show you guys what this looks like. This is the more organized fashion, you could say. Okay, so what we have here is who sourced the lead. We had two sourcers at one time who were sourcing leads for us. The date in which it was sourced, for some reason it's not here. Who is the owner of this lead? So there was different salespeople in the business that were basically taking ownership. This is classic in ABM where somebody is like takes ownership of the lead. This is only relevant if you have a team of people. The status, so this is something that we use because we would import these leads into a CRM like Pipedrive or HubSpot. I don't know, we changed throughout the years. And then this is something related to if I actually contacted them, the brand, the storefront, the LinkedIn profile name of the person that is the best person to reach out to, their actual name, a tracking link to the landing page we made. Let's say, it doesn't work anymore because we don't have this domain anymore. But yeah, everything that you could possibly need. The sequence start date. So once we actually put them into the marketing campaign, the sequence, when it started. You don't need to have all this data. And then we had just some other stuff like a dashboard for helping us understand how many people we were sourcing per month, per day, how many people we were contacting. You can take it to the moon. I mean, there's a million things you can do with it. The point is like I just wanted to give you a glimpse at what it looks like at scale. So you'll get a clean sheet like that eventually.
Okay, then I go more deep into that and grow that more and add those columns.
Yeah, and dude, I highly recommend leveraging offshore talent to help you with the sourcing. This is a really good example. We were talking about offshore versus onshore earlier. The difference between this is offshore is people overseas that typically have much lower hourly rates, $2 to $3 per hour. Onshore is, someone in your local environment. If you live somewhere like India or the Philippines, well, then you're technically living in the offshore realms where your talent is very cheap and accessible. But I would highly recommend going to the Philippines or going to India or going to Pakistan or somewhere and finding somebody that can help you with this. We always used the Philippines just because, I don't know, that's where I started, and we started to build a team over there. One country is not really better than the other per se, but onlinejobs.ph is a fantastic resource for finding talent. You don't need anybody that you just need somebody that can speak good English and has access to quality Wi-Fi and a good computer and is familiar with Google Sheets. And you can find those people at $3 an hour, and they are the best at helping you with stuff like this. It's not worth your time to be doing this once you have a system for doing it, right? Like, you do want to outsource. And somebody like this, 10, 20 hours a month, $30 to $60 of your money can mean 500 to 1,000 leads, depending on the speed at which they can find people, or even 300. It's incredibly worth it. So it's an incredible investment.
So would you go? So because I kind of also want to. So my idea with that me and Tyler discussed was I'm going to create physical mail, and I'm
Yeah.
going to have because that's I want to have a castle at some point, a real castle. That's my goal in life. I
Okay.
started as a kid, and I want to seal it so with a
I love that.
embroidery on it. And so I was kind of bit designing how it should look like, what I want to have on it, and I wanted in the letter, I wanted to include a paper about the online course I created, about what I kind of am doing for my clients and what worked. So they kind of could also benefit already and do it on their own. But of course, if they want to hire somebody, they are going to take me. So what I want to ask is, I of course kind of have to do the first batch on. I have to record the course myself, and I'm going to send out the first, 20 letters on my own to kind of see, okay, there's going to come one sale in, and it worked to kind of verify that this whole framework works, right? To test it lean, or what do you think? Before I start with
20 is not enough. I would do a minimum of 100. So set your minimum to 100. I think because it's 100, it's a lot of work, and I think that you yourself could go through the process and send out a few letters just to learn the process, but it would be better and more fun if you hired somebody to help you through the entire process. So I think that in the early stages, just build the letter, get it done, so that way you know what it looks like for every person that you're reaching out to, and then train somebody on building the 99 other letters that there are. So just make one good letter yourself, and then hire somebody at a minimum wage who can just help you with mailing, creating the letters, all of that. Because it's not going to cost you. It's really going to cost you like very minimally if you hire somebody.
But for letter, I would need somebody then from my surroundings then, actually, yeah.
Yeah, in your physical environment. Yeah, it can be right next to you, like shoulder to shoulder, quote unquote, in office. It does not. They don't need to have experience in anything. This is super simple. They just need to be somebody with a good head on their shoulders and a moral compass, and a desire to learn. Ideally, you find somebody that has the potentiality of being a possible full-time person in your company, because the reality is that there's a strong potentiality for this to grow your business. And when that happens, you're going to be so busy, you're not going to be able to keep up the process of, sending out letters or continuing this outbound marketing sequence or system that you've built. So don't rush the hiring process either and just pick anybody. Definitely think through who you want to pick and get them to do a crystallizer assessment, because you're a visionary, right?
I have to do mine still.
What?
I have to do my crystallizer assessment.
Well, I'm assuming you're a visionary, but do the test, see what that is, and yeah, it'd be nice to get somebody that's your opposite so that you can have rocket fuel.
Okay.
We went over on you, but that was amazing, and I think that was helpful for everybody, because this is such a prevalent topic. It seems to be something that comes up a lot.
We're full of visionaries in this group, huh?
There's a lot of visionaries in the group. I am an integrator. I think, yeah, Usman's a visionary. He's a super strong visionary. Tomac is visionary. TJ, are you visionary or integrator?
I'm a visionary.
Yep, there's a bunch of visionaries in here. So funny. There's like 3 integrators, I think. Fabian, did you have anything else before we wrap up with you or move on from that?
One more question is like, so I kind of already get people to work with me, even if I don't yet have real results from my strategy working, because then I can roll it out to more people and get to 100 people actually sending it out. And I just spend the amount of money that I make, right? My profit or my revenue on some like on doing on the person from the Philippines or from wherever to help me then with the ICPs, and then on somebody who is helping me with writing the letters.
The question, what was the question though? Oh, that I
Is
heard
that
everything.
is it correct? Or is
Yeah.
it correct? What is it? So I don't.
I would do that.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. So structure your Google Sheet, organize it.
Mhm.
You know, I gave you an example for what it looked like for us. Find 5 perfect ICPs, 5 good ICPs, define the difference between perfect and good, and then find bad, define what bad is. You can just have 3 different statuses. So just give 5 examples of each, make a Loom video explaining the differences between the 3, how to find the perfect ones, the good ones. Love you, Tomac. I appreciate you. And immediately once you've done that, send that training video. Look for somebody on onlinejobs.ph and send that training video to the person that you're going to hire to help you with sourcing your ICPs so that they can get started on building the list. Once they get to 100 ICPs, you can basically just tell them, hey, this is amazing. Thank you. We're going to contact these 100 people. And if we see some results from this, we want to work with you again in the future. You know, they're just a contractor. It's not like you're hiring them part-time or full-time. And then find somebody to help you with the mailing process. Yeah. So definitely, I don't think it's going to cost you more than $50 to have somebody offshore do the sourcing of the list. So $50 to $100 max. I don't see that being more. And then for mailing 100 letters out, you know, minimum wage where you are might be like what, $15 an hour or something US.
I think so. Yeah.
So let's just say that that's going to be between 20 to 40 hours. So basically a half a week or a full week of time over the course of probably a month. So that's going to come out to, yeah, probably around $300 to $600, somewhere in that range. This is a marketing investment, right? We're starting to invest in building a marketing system for the agency. So it's the best thing you can possibly do with your money at your current stage, especially while you have
True.
good margins.
True. And it's then also fine if I invest, for example, another 200, 300 euros, for example, in the software, if I anyway only have the ICP that has the list of the leads, if I anyway have the contract only working for a month, let's say, so then they can go through the whole list. It's already pre-selected of Kajabi clients, right? So then it's also easy for them.
If you need to, if you don't need to, and there's a way for you to just source them without buying that, then don't bother buying it. That's up to you. You'll have to decide if you think it's worth it or not. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, man.
Cool. Love you very much. Does anybody else have anything, questions, stuff that I can help with or be of service to?
I was just looking at the Dream 100 database. I took screenshots because I'm psycho like that.
Yeah.
Is there like a blank database template that I could like replicate in my Notion?
There might be. I can look. I feel like there was at one point and it was removed. I'll take a look for you.
No worries.
Yeah, I'll take a look after this call and see if I can find something.
one more question, if I may, if nobody else has one.
Yeah, go for it.
What did you think about the YouTube video I sent you, where I was standing in front of the whiteboard?
Good. I think that you could do incredibly better with your lighting, with your like. I don't think you need to do all these cuts. I think you did a bunch of cuts. Is that right?
Yeah, I cut so
just
base.
push start and end, and that's it. Don't worry if you like fumble your words or something. I mean, the only time I'd really cut something out of the video, it would be if I said something that I completely botched, or I totally didn't mean to say that. You know what I mean? It is difficult to follow. That format with the whiteboard is great in certain scenarios, I think, especially if you are actually in a position where the lighting is good and it showcases the whiteboard good. Like, you could do much better with that. Angling, the lighting. Your excitement levels are great. That's what I love, because so few people have that. So that's incredible. Just keep your excitement levels where they are. I can feel how you have a genuine energy and love for what it is that you're talking about, which is really special. Because there's a sort of energetic connection that people feel through your tonality when you're speaking to them. I would love to see you make something on like Miro board, like a digital whiteboard with like a Loom video, something simple of that nature, you know. And I'd love to see what that style looks like for you. And I'd love to see you just speak in a flow so that you're not cutting things so much. It should be very easy for you to speak about what you're speaking about, like push record, stop, 7 minutes later, upload, done. Shouldn't take you that much energy.
I actually did one quick Loom video because there's a contest from the tracking tool, where they offered where there's a third contest coming, and they offer like $1,000 for the one that wins, and that's the best kind of case study. So
Yeah.
it's the first round is starting now, and I'm
cool.
kind of I think I want to win that. So I'm going to send you. I made that Loom already. I think I maybe need to improve it. I'm going to send that as well to you, because I made a different YouTube channel, because I had this one personal one for mine where I share all sorts of things, where I talk about the cast and all those kind of things.
Yeah, send
But
it. Yeah.
one, of course, for the ads thing is, I think, necessary to have, right? Because it doesn't really fit so much with what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And because then I could also, if that picks up, run YouTube ads through people that watched my videos, right? At some point, they would.
Yeah. Love it. Send it to me, dude. I'd love to see it.
And would you also invest in thumbnails?
Could it what?
Would you also invest like in thumbnails, or should I do them like really lean, or would you at the beginning just push out videos?
Yeah, thumbnails are super important for driving a higher click-through rate. Definitely do your best to make thumbnails. Don't spend too much energy on it, but at least invest 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes per video in Canva just making good thumbnails. It is very, very important. But it's not necessary, but it's important. You know what I mean? So you could have the best video ever, and if your thumbnail sucks, it's like very difficult to get traction on YouTube. Thumbnails should always speak to the essence of the video, and you have to be conscious of the fact that people are on mobile phones, and so your font generally needs to be pretty big. You can generally only keep like less than 4 to 5 words in the thumbnail, because of the fact that if you have any more than that, it's going to be too many words, and the font size is going to be too small, and then people aren't going to be able to actually see what it's about. The more you can speak without words, the better. If it's possible for you to get your message across without words and just visually display it, incredible. I almost find that it's impossible for whatever it is that I'm talking about. You know, like generally speaking, when I cared about growing the channel on YouTube for my personal channel, which is related to agency stuff, I would have words on there. Unless I was just making lazy content, I'll just shoot it out. Like right now, I'm just putting out lazy content, but it's not really ideal for growing and seeing the greatest results.
Thanks, man, so much for those answers. Really means a lot.
Cool. Yay. Yay. This is good. Oh, man.
One
TJ.
follow-up question.
Yeah, Usman, go for it.
Yeah, so I was just gonna ask, you said that you've had bad experience with outsourcing core functions, right?
Yes.
Uh, so my question is like, if I hire somebody like in-house, is that also considered like I'm outsourcing it instead of learning it myself? Right? I think I'm a bit confused about that.
I know what you mean to a certain degree, right? Like because you still always run the risk of somebody leaving the company. But there's far greater risk in hiring an external contractor for a core function of the business than there is to hiring somebody internally who is 100% dependent on your company for their livelihood, of their family, right? Opposed to a contractor who has maybe 10 clients and you're just one of the 10 eggs in the nest, and it doesn't really matter that much if they do the best job or the worst job. So when you look at it from a psychological perspective of like what are the incentives behind the people that I'm working with, there's far greater incentives to perform amazing if they're a full-time employee to your company and your company only. A really good book is called Delivering Happiness by Tony Heish, the founders of Zappos. Also an incredible book on culture. Oh my God, it's like one of the top 3 culture books. Unfortunately, he committed suicide, oddly enough. He probably needed a spiritual group of some sort or something. I don't know. It's unfortunate. But he was an incredible entrepreneur. And he in the beginning tried to outsource the inventory fulfillment for Zappos, which is like a giant company that sells shoes, kind of like Amazon. They had a nightmare of an experience, and they learned the hard way that they should never try to outsource one of their core functions. So yeah, it's just a matter of incentives. You know, the 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 team that you build is the company, right? Like it is the essence of the company. It's the thing that people buy when they buy the company. It's the people, it's the culture behind it. The numbers are just what determines, the multiple that you get, but the people is really what allows it to run without you. And contractors are never something that you want to rely on. As an investor, if I'm investing in your agency and I see that all of your core functions are contractors through Upwork, I am very scared. Um, just because those people could leave you at any time and they're less invested. Does that help? I know that it's a small discrepancy, but it's a big difference also. Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, this has been a good call. A lot of questions answered. Questions asked and answers given. I want to remind everybody while we're all here, this group, I love it. It's incredible. I'm stoked about it, and I don't want to be the yolk of the egg. So I want all of you to feel empowered to help other people in certain circumstances, whether people are asking questions in the group or if you genuinely feel like you see somebody's bio and you feel like they have a solution to something that you have a problem with, ask them. I don't want everybody to just go to me. I want you to also recognize the other Pokemon that are in the deck and leverage the skills that all of these Pokemon have. Fabian is incredible with meta ads and creating ads. TJ is incredible with community and brand DNA. Juan Blanco has a lot of experience with retail and creating merch and selling merch, and also just psychological stuff with trading. Also a very spiritual being. Usman's incredible with SEO with SEO and has a significant team and also started from nothing and has a lot of experience with scaling an agency. Tomek, who was on this call that left early, he runs ABM focused like LinkedIn, like how to grow your LinkedIn account events around ABM in Poland. He's sold out these events with like 150 plus people and like no marketing, just organic LinkedIn marketing is what he does to sell out these events. So everybody has such unique skill sets, and all of you guys should feel empowered to be a leader in the space and contribute to everybody else's growth. I'm hoping that by me doing these calls once a week for a period of time, I don't know how long it'll be, can sort of jumpstart the fuel, the fire, and get the fire burning on its own, so that everybody feels more connected. I'm also feeling like maybe we'll consider doing a retreat next year, something that is open-ended. We can all just come together, pitch in to cover the bare minimum costs of what the retreat would cost. It would be super cool. I think Vanau would be an incredible place. I know it's really off the radar and you guys got to make a hell of a trek to get out there, but I know all of the contacts to make it an incredible experience. Like someone who can be a chef at a very reasonable rate and cook food for everybody. I have a home there. I could share a bed with somebody else, not like one bed, but I have an extra bed. Just clarification. Juan is there already, and it's just an amazing spiritual place to disconnect so that you can really reconnect and zoom out. Like from a business perspective, it's so beneficial because it allows you to disconnect fully and sort of get outside the box that you've been in for such a long time. And to be with other entrepreneurs that are in this group, I think would be really special. So it's an idea I'm planting into everybody's minds right now. Maybe it manifests, maybe it doesn't, but I think
You had me at the food.
what?
You had me at the food.
Okay,
I'm
the
there.
food. Yeah. Frisbee on the beach. There's surfing, there's waterfalls. I mean, Juan can do a whole tour guide. We can go see starfish and stuff. There's so many cool things. It's a dream.
Yeah, I can take you guys to see all the fish, all the wildlife out here. I'm a
Yeah.
jungle boy.
He is a jungle. He's a jungle man. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. But so anyways, thank you guys all for joining us. Any thoughts on anything, questions, thoughts, concerns, comments?
I'm just grateful. Thank you so much, Taylor.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I have no words. I'm really grateful. I think I wanted to call with every single one of you. With you, Osman, with you, TJ, with you, Juan. I think we definitely need to hit up and talk more. It's really inspiring to be with so many people at so many different stages and to talk and to get to know their stories and to just ask. It's absolutely incredible. So thanks, Tyler, again for it's. I don't know what happened, but it's a miracle.
It is a miracle. You happened. You told me we need to do a group, and I thought, well, that's a good idea. Let's consider it.
Yeah, it is. I have one more question that
Yeah.
went through my head where I was yesterday at night because I'm thinking right now about the whole scaling part, like getting more clients on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to India next year from
Nice.
15th of January till very nice till also 10th of February or something, so almost a month.
Uh-huh.
And I'm there at the charity I'm part of, so I'm not so much able to really work so much there. Of course, I have internet there, and the
Yeah.
mobile data isn't that expensive there, and I can do some work, but I can't do the shooting that I currently do, and of course can do the managing still, but if I have like then 5 different clients, it's kind of going to, if I don't find a really good way to make the ads run longer over a different period of time or be able to shut them down, that's a bit of a question
This
that
is
I'm in,
January. This next January.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much time between now and January. I would just highly advise you think about a way in which you can sort of front load the work so that when you go to India, you've already done, maybe you have a inventory of ads that you can use. You don't have to be shooting. Maybe you train somebody who can monitor the ads while you're gone or just check into them more frequently. The answer is you need somebody to help you, and you're going to have to pay them a little bit. But that's not an issue, dude. You can train somebody in a heartbeat. You have to keep in mind that you once knew nothing about this and now you know something, so you can train anybody, anything. And I think the person that you're finding to help you with the mail stuff, the lettering, the letter stuff, this could also be somebody that eventually turns into a part-time hire that can help you manage the business while you're gone for that month. And that'd be a really good test for you at an early stage to feel what it feels like to have somebody manage your clients while you're gone, or just at least the ads. Maybe you can still maintain the relationship and keep it kind of hidden that you're, not managing the ads per se.
Yeah.
Training people, it's a big level up. Welcome to business. So you're gonna love it. It's gonna be incredible. It's the best thing ever. So don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
It's really great.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we're good to go. So yeah, this was amazing. Thank you all, and we'll wrap this up. TJ, can you stay on for a little private secret conversation that nobody else needs to know about? I'm just kidding. It's nothing serious. I love you all. You're all special. Don't worry.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Great.
Thanks,
Love you
Anna.
too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I
Thank
know.
you for your time. Bye-bye. Bye.
Don't worry, take your time.
Guys,
What's up, dude?
not much. How are you?
Good, man. So it's so interesting because I can sort of intuitively feel it with you. You don't ask for help.
I don't. I'm just vibing. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I don't ask for help.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but yeah,
I want to help you. So
yeah.
how can I help you? What do we have to talk about?
Well, I'm just going through my social media strategy right now.
Okay.
So like Fabian did also bring up that it should be on YouTube as well. I'm just like, eat the frog. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, 'cause like, I'm a brand guy, so I'm always like thinking brands, like brand strategy, all these things, like what message am I conveying, what tone of voice am I doing? But I think that's like getting in the way of actually executing because I'm over analyzing and I'm always like
Mm-hmm.
always looking at the data.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I feel exactly what you're saying.
yeah, so I think I just need to like just eat the frog, execute the damn thing, and see where it goes, see what happens. So in terms of like help or anything, I don't know. Unless you come in like a human form of Xanax, then yeah, maybe that would help me. But yeah, no, I think yeah, like just this, like the group stuff, like you chatting with everyone, it helps me too because I'm learning
Yeah.
from everybody else's life experiences and everybody else's ebbs and flows of this crazy thing they were doing called business.
Fucking shit show.
Yeah, it's a shit show. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm learning, I'm absorbing. But yeah, like me not asking for help is not necessarily like I don't want any help. It's just that I am seeking help in a different way. I am passively getting help from everybody's
Okay.
experiences. Yeah,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to just make sure that there wasn't something on your mind or on your heart that you wanted to ask.
Oh no,
So
you're good. You're good. Like, trust me, if there's something that I'm like, all right, I need help with this for sure, then I'll definitely be reaching out to you and everybody else. Like, one of my bigger weak points is, it's actually something I really don't want to be messing with is ads. Like, I gloss over when somebody shows me a spreadsheet of marketing analytics. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't want to do that.
yeah,
So, so yeah, definitely that is one area I could get some great help in is the advertising and marketing aspect of things. But I'm mostly going to be relying on organic
yeah.
marketing because that's how you build connections.
I mean, dude, organic is the ultimate.
Yeah.
I don't recommend ads to anybody if they haven't figured out organically how to get clients. It's
Yeah.
unless you're an absolute expert at advertising and you've already mastered, that realm. Um,
Absolutely.
go for it. Tell me about, did you have any conclusions on our last call though? Like, I know I was really pushing you into the direction of YouTube, just showing
Yeah.
up with video. Any clarity around that stuff?
No, I definitely got a lot of clarity on that. I think I did order a book on YouTube because I'm that nerd that I need to have books. I need to
You're
have
so
knowledge.
funny. You're so funny. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I do see that like definitely not a this year thing, but definitely a next year thing because like my main focus is the Instagram, LinkedIn, and the blog series because I need to get those three established before I start doing YouTube because YouTube is like kind of like a bigger hill for me to climb on. But these like those channels, those are like the smaller hills that I can be like, oh, I can easily tackle these. Like so already I'm starting to like post on LinkedIn and already I'm just like creating the templates for my Instagram channels. But yeah, like yeah, you guys sold me. I should be on YouTube and doing the whole YouTube thing and being a creator on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
No stress.
No stress at all, man. No stress.
Yeah.
Somebody that is incredible. She's an absolute angel in my life.
Hmm.
Any of the most existential questions that I have, I go to her for. Her name is Carrie. She's actually, I believe she's the CFO of a publicly traded company. She, just to give you some background, she's so
Yeah.
cool. She's like a little fairy. Um,
Oh, cool.
she lives in Oregon somewhere on like 42 acres of land on a river. I mean, it's like the dream. I don't
Oh
know
my
what your,
gosh.
what your dream is, but my dream is 42 acres with a river.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just an insane amount of land. She
Wow.
is building a retreat center on it, so she's building homes right now on her land. Um, she's so special. She's actually an intuitive empath at heart. Like she is, people use the word psychic. I don't really love that word just because, oh
Mm,
my God, there's so many psychics that suck and like,
yeah.
like just like icks me when I think about it.
Right.
But she is the best. I talk to her once a month. It's anything and everything that I talk to her about, especially things that I energetically feel a major bottleneck with. So I was struggling very much with letting go of better AMS and shifting my whole entire beingness to something totally different. And she basically connects to your spirit and guides you through what all the different timeline
Oh, I love that.
potentialities are. I highly recommend a call with her and talking to her about gaining clarity on C Connect. That's the name of your brand,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And just feeling into like what the highest potentiality is given your skill set that you have, and what the best marketing channels and avenues would be. She can look into YouTube versus LinkedIn versus Reddit versus Instagram and look at it from a sort of spirit level, I guess you could say. I know it sounds really weird, but
I get
she's
it.
the absolute best. I'm gonna send you her contact if you want to do
Sure.
a call with her. Great.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna bring her into the group this month. I think
Exciting.
we're gonna do an open Q&A. I want to introduce her to everybody in the group anyways, because she's like
Sure.
my ultimate secret weapon. So if you wanted to just wait for that,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to ask her if she could do an open Q&A format so everybody could ask one question and she can connect everybody's spirit and give a response. So she's the best, but I'll send you her contacts regardless.
Absolutely. No, that'd be great. I'd love to have that connect.
She's a wizard.
I love having these wizards in your roster just so you can like whip out and be like, hey, do your thing.
Dude. Oh, she's so important in my life. There's so
Yeah.
many like even just with Claudia, so I'll always ask her like, how can I better be of service to Claudia, like my partner,
Mm,
and that's amazing. There's always so much that comes out of that. She'll touch on like what Claudia is going through in
right.
this moment, how I can best serve her, how I can best communicate with her, how I can best love her. You
Oh,
familiar
that's
with the
amazing.
you familiar with the Love Languages book?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I understand love languages. I think mine is
So
like what, physical touch or something?
yeah. There's
Yeah.
the 5 love languages. So she can touch on all these different aspects that give such greater insight onto just being of your service to your partner and
Oh, that's
creating more
beautiful.
peace. So yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like when I first started this thing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do ads, and then I did the ad thing. I was like, I don't like this, and then I did like the whole drop shipping thing. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
So yeah, but I really found like design and community development and community design. That was like my passion. That's where like my ikigai came from.
yeah.
It's like I love this. It's like
I
communities are life, and communities is what our existence are based off of. And if communities are dead, then we're dead as a species.
Yeah, dude, 100%. That you would love Vanau because Vanau is just this like little community. It's a physical community. It's so special.
I love that.
And I would love to introduce you to everybody. They're just so loving and like warm and welcoming.
Oh,
And
that's beautiful.
yeah.
So I guess I have to get my passport sorted out soon then.
Do you not have a passport?
Well, my passport's expired, so I have to like basically
Oh,
fly to Vancouver or send it off to Vancouver because I'm a Dutch citizen. I'm Canadian without the passport.
got
Yeah.
it. No way.
So I have to like send it off and or visit the consulate. because we used to have a
Okay.
consulate here in Edmonton, but they closed it for some reason. So
Wow.
and moved to Vancouver.
Yeah, love it. Well, yeah, that would be helpful if we
Yeah.
ended up doing a retreat of some sort. I read your message, by the way, workshop covering brand attributes and stuff.
Yep.
Love that. I'm open to doing it whenever. I feel like because I'm probably gonna bring Carrie in this
Hmm.
month, that would be great. Maybe we can do like mid-November or
Yeah,
early
whatever works.
November, something in that range. Okay,
Yeah.
let's plan for mid-November. And if you want to talk to me or run it by me or anything, great. But I think
Sure.
my
Yeah.
initial feel is like, I think there was certain aspects of what you ran me through when you shared screen and walked me through the deck, and I absolutely loved it, especially the brand voice stuff. I think anything that you can condense into 20 to 30 minutes would be
Yeah.
incredible. Like you could just copy paste that slide. I don't think you need to create anything new. Like that slideshow is amazing.
Yeah, perfect. I can use yeah, I think I'll use the CConnect deck and then just go through like the attributes because it's very intense and it's very like yeah, basically very workshoppy. So I think if the brand attributes and the basically the first slide of the persona, that's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking. I'll be very helpful to everybody in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Send me whatever you feel like when you get
Mhm.
it, and I would love to review it, and I think it would be incredibly valuable. I even want to do
Absolutely.
it, so I'm stoked.
Absolutely. Just like how I don't want to do like ads and marketing, some people don't want to do the whole brand stuff, and that's where I step in.
Yeah, I know. I'm like with Satori School, it's really funny. I'm just like I just want to sit, I meditate on the vibe of the brand. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's the vibe. Done. And then, that's like me going through my brand DNA process. I'm like, cool, I
Yeah,
got it. Like it's
yeah.
there. And I think that works when there's no other team members, and then like you bring in team members, and it's like, that's no longer working.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have to build a brand DNA thing.
yeah.
So I'm at that point now where we have a couple people helping out, and I'm like, okay, we should probably put this down on paper somewhere.
Yeah, like have like a online like repository of
Yeah,
what the brand is. Because I'm very nutty when it comes to brand development and branding. Like for
I
myself,
can feel that.
I it's I would consider a mental illness. How
Yeah,
great like how I'm doing this. Like here, I'm just gonna show you my screen for half a second here.
yeah, show me.
First. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I can like
That's
talk about
okay.
this
Don't worry.
forever.
That's all right.
So, oh yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. So this, like you can see these are all the elements of the brand kit
Uh-huh.
that I would typically have for a brand. So like patterns, iconography, positioning.
I
Position
love it.
is key. Yeah. So like also maybe this can be like a different topic for a different day, but like how to position your brand. It's like what I find with positioning, a lot of people, a lot of folks, they can get confused between what is my position and then, or like what is the brand position and who do I want to serve? Who do I want to market
Can
to?
you relate this to me with Satori School?
Yeah, so basically, Satori School, like your Satori School is, trying to word this, like for me, to help those with passion, that's my positioning. So then Satori School would be to elevate human consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Okay. I think I remember this. I think we briefly touched on this.
Yeah. And so then who you market to, it would be like entrepreneurs, like getting entrepreneurs to enlighten themselves, to tap into their spiritual and also their personal vulnerabilities to become a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I find with some folks is that they either blend the two or they confuse the two and they don't really understand, all right, what is the positioning? Because like I like to think it as like what's your key guy? For me, it's like I want to help communities. I want to help brands be better brands. For you,
Mm-hmm.
it's you want to help the human consciousness. You want to help
Mm-hmm.
folks. You're just like a golden retriever that just wants to help folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that actually, now I'm talking about this, maybe this would be a good element to add into that call as well is figuring out the positioning. Oh, now I'm overthinking. I'm gonna have to like, okay, let me marinate with this for a bit and see exactly.
Yeah, whatever you feel is best.
Yeah,
But I think that probably like iconography would probably be maybe too specific for the group and not the
yeah,
most helpful, obviously.
yeah.
But I
That's
think the
pure graphic
positioning one
design.
is like
Yeah,
amazing because it's foundational and yeah, even target audience. Like
yeah,
that stuff is so foundational and helpful to everyone at all stages of the business.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like definitely, well, first like vision, mission,
Hmm.
tag. That's important. Target audience, important. Positioning. That's important. And then this is more for copywriting, but knowing your tone of voice, like how
I
do you want to
love that one
present?
a lot.
Yeah, like for me, it's like make it plain, make it clear, make it real. And then I have a breakdown for this for like, every single element.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that could be important as well.
Yeah, dude, you have so much potential. I love seeing your stuff. It blows my mind, and I just am so excited to see the evolution of your
Ah,
your business because I
thank you.
can't believe you're where you are with your knowledge set and your revenue. There's a very inverse relationship between those
Uh,
two things, and it'll balance out very soon. I can feel it.
yeah, because like I don't want to be in Edmonton forever. I want to move
Nope.
somewhere else.
Nobody wants to be in Edmonton forever,
Right?
dude.
Exactly. Not even
Yeah,
Edmonton Oilers want to be in Edmonton.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I just want to like spread my wings and fly and see like and just have different life experiences, whether it be in Toronto, whether it be in Pana, whether it be like wherever, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Make some good trouble on this planet.
yeah. Dude, you'd love Vinao. I hope you come to Vinao at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
So my birthday's in
Well,
February. I'm like, I need to figure out what my birthday plans is.
February is a beautiful month. My little brother's birthday's in February too.
Oh, nice. So easy Pisces.
Yeah, yeah. Well, February 6th. Is that Pisces?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that whole area is Pisces.
yeah. I'm not
Where is it?
familiar with astrology. I know I'm a Capricorn, but I don't know the dates, you know.
Yeah. How can I help you though? Because you're asking me for help, but I don't know. I feel like I'm
Um,
better of service to folks.
yeah, dude. Well, I asked you briefly in school. Did you see my comment on your bio thing?
Yeah.
On your did you
See,
respond to that? I don't think I saw it.
I think, let's
You
see.
did respond. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm reading it now.
I just love Fabian's vibes. Dude is just good vibes
He
all
has
around.
such love. He's just a ball of love.
Yeah.
I know. I love that you can feel that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
we got a good group.
yeah, everybody's so unique, but Fabian or Fabian is just I love the golden retriever energy a lot.
Yeah, he definitely has
It's my
that.
favorite. It's my favorite. But Claudia always says that that's my energy all the time is like golden retriever. I find in these Zoom
Absolutely.
calls it's very like it's more businessy and structured, you know, because there's that aspect of self that comes out. But
Hmm.
like generally speaking, I'm just laughing a lot. Um,
Yeah.
dude, so I'm reading the comment. So I guess like what when you say partnerships with creators community, I'm looking at kind of people who share the same values and collaborating.
Yeah.
Um, got it. So just expanding there. I thought that what you were saying was you were wanting to partner emerging. Yeah, I guess I'm still a little bit clear. Can you expand on this?
Yeah, so it means I wanna, cause yeah, so basically I wanna like work with creators. So
Yeah,
whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Instagram, so anybody that wants to leverage their following and turn it into a community or get more refined with their brand.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
yes.
that positioning for you so much. Wait, are you ready for it? Something
Yeah,
along the lines of helping creators create communities.
there you go. I like that. That's
Yeah.
that's basically where I was like, yeah, no, that's basically it. That's basically what I want to do is
That
help.
is such an incredible niche. That sounds so vague, but at the same time, it's not. It's very
Yeah.
specific because the creator word is like a blossoming flower right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it is just booming. And I'm like shocked at how booming it is. And it's
Yeah.
still in its infancy. And communities is like, I feel like it's still in the bud phase of the flower. Like it's just
Yeah.
literally a bud. It hasn't even opened. So it is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. I love that positioning for you. Continue though. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good. So yeah, basically helping creators create communities and also helping brands figuring out their DNA and like getting into the grid of it. It's like really understanding who they are as a brand, what value they bring on this planet, and why they exist. So like basically answering the why questions. Like why do I why do I exist as a brand? Why should customers, be or like clients come to me and work with me? So it's
I
just
love
like those
that.
big things.
I love that. There's a lot of yeah, adding brands in is important because there's a distinction between brands and creators. Creators,
Hmm.
it's so sort of along the lines of helping creators and brands cultivate community and connection, or community and strong culture, strong
Yeah.
community and culture. Um,
That's why
yeah,
I have
dude,
like C Connect because like it's connecting creators, connecting communities,
I'm
connecting.
getting that now.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. I was putting two and two together just like 5 seconds ago in my brain. I was like, wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um,
That's
there's
yeah.
there's just no better place than YouTube.
Yeah. That's what I'm
I just
understanding.
have to really like reinforce that for
Yeah.
it's the way that you can speak to all of this. And LinkedIn is also great. I mean, I think LinkedIn would be an incredible driver of revenue for like brands,
Hmm.
not so much for creators.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some creators on there, but not as much as it would be on like let's say Reddit or actual YouTube.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube are predominantly creators.
Hmm.
Yeah. These are the questions that I would go to Carrie with, and I would be like, Carrie, here's my talents. I'm incredible with cultivating community, cultivating culture, cultivating a strong brand identity, bringing clarity to brand and what that means. Um, I know that I can help brands, and I know that I can help creators. What platforms would best serve me in going to, and what percentage of my energy should I spend on marketing my skill set on each platform?
Right.
When I brought this up with her with Satori School, it was like 90% YouTube and like 5 to 10% Instagram, TikTok.
Mm.
So it was really helpful, at least for me, to just get that discrepancy. And sometimes she'll feel into it and then ask other questions that lead to a more clear, outcome because she needs
Yeah.
more context. But yeah, I would totally consider dropping in with her and looking into what percentage of your energy should be invested into which platforms, and
Yeah,
whether or not it's
absolutely.
in your best interest to serve just creators or just brands or both. I think both feels good for me, for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because like I mean, I started off in brands and then I'm slowly shifting to like I wanna this is kind of like a natural evolution of me wanting to help creators.
Yeah,
Because like brands, that's part of my DNA. Like that's part of
yeah.
like the crux of who I am as a creator is
I'm
building
I,
brands.
I'm also very like leaning towards one day when Satori School grows to be of a relatively significant size, and it's very established, and there's sort of operations in place, and people are running it.
Hmm.
I want to do a creator academy of some sort, helping
Oh,
people
that'd be
step
cool.
into becoming a creator.
Yeah.
Um, because that's what Satori School really is. It's a creation from an individual named Taylor. Um, and there's just so much opportunity to become a creator. You just need a phone. It blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It blows my mind.
That's,
It's the future of creating a brand,
yeah.
is being a
100%.
creator. So that's why I love that you're in this, because it's a massive wave. It's a massive wave, and so few creators actually have any understanding of what a brand even is.
Yeah, I'm
The
starting
stuff that
to
you're talking
understand.
about is so far out for 99% of creators. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like they create first and then figure out the brand second. Whereas
Or
like the
never.
branch or never, right? Yeah, like or never. So yeah, usually like it's like you should go in tandem, like figuring it out the brand as you go, like basically building a parachute as you
Yeah.
are off.
Yeah. So I'm stoked to have you here, dude.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and thank you for reminding me that you're just learning passively through listening. That's beautiful. And feel free to reach out whenever if I can't help, and I'll reach out to you also.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
that for me, you're just a super valuable resource to have, and just like be able to tap into with community related questions, whenever that comes up, and also a good resource to send people to, in case I meet somebody who's struggling with brand stuff, because it's not my specialty and it's not my passion either, so I don't love talking about it, So
Absolutely. Oh
I can
man, I
tell you
love.
do.
Oh, I could look at fonts all day.
Typography all day. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I could
funny.
look at typography all day. The kernings, the lettering, everything.
I would love to, when Satori School has a decent amount of revenue, would love to work with you in some capacity. It's come
For
across
sure.
my mind several times. When we have the revenue,
Oh,
and
for sure.
when we're in a little bit of a better place, because right now we're just running super lean, because our balance sheet shows negative 60,000 or 50,000. So we're a
Right.
nonprofit that is figuring out how to make profit, and that's, I think, how it always starts.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Is there like
I've
grants
already
you guys?
learned. What's up?
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was wondering if is there grants that you guys can utilize to?
There, I haven't gotten to that stage yet, but
Okay.
there is $10,000 a month we can get from Google Ads when we get 501c3b status, which is super cool. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
And maybe there's other grants that we can take advantage of. I haven't yet incorporated as a nonprofit. That's going to happen in January.
Okay.
Once we actually get that done, like all of the Patreon funds that like this group and the people that are donating in the group, all of those funds will actually go somewhere. Right now, they're just being held by Patreon.
Right.
And so I'm just funding everything out of my personal bank account. But once I have the corporation set up, yes, I should hopefully be able to do more research on leveraging every possible benefit that a nonprofit gets.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not, I haven't gone down the grants rabbit hole. I know very little of it.
Because I know a couple of grant writers that I can reach out to help with that
Okay,
as well.
cool.
So
Yeah.
just let me know.
When we get approved, I will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I'd love you so much. Thank you
Love you too,
for
man.
sharing everything. It's always amazing chatting with you.
Absolutely. Always, always a big chatter, especially with people that are like with keen interest in like the same areas. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Oh, amen. Well, dude, have a beautiful